Tonight, this province has come to rely on emergency supply teachers, and the Teachers Association wants that to end.
The use of emergency supply teachers, people without an education degree or teaching qualifications, has increased in this province over the last 5 years.
But they're not trained teachers, and that is our deep worry with this. This is a watering down of our system.
I'm Heather Gillis, and I'll have more on that story coming up on Here and Now.
Why can't they bill government directly? No different than your family doctor does.
The PCs want more provincial funding for nurse practitioners, why government says it won't happen. A wildfire near Fort McMurray has people at the ready to evacuate the northern Alberta community. We'll hear from a Newfoundlander who lives there coming up.
This is CBC Here and Now.
Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. We begin with education news. When a teacher is sick, usually a substitute will fill in. Sometimes it's a regular substitute or a retired teacher, but in the last 5 years, the number of substitutes who are not fully qualified as teachers has skyrocketed. And it's a practice the Teachers Association wants stopped. Here and Now's Heather Gillis reports.
This is something that a lot of people consider.
Back in 2019, there were about 1,700 substitute teachers in the province's school system. 35 of them were emergency supply teachers. They're people without an education degree or teaching qualifications, with at least a high school diploma and a vulnerable sector check from police. Documents CBC obtained through access to information show the number of emergency supply fill-ins peaked during the pandemic. There were 229 during the 21-22 school year. But today, the education system is still relying on them. So far this year, 208 are filling in the gaps, an almost 500% increase in the last 5 years.
But bottom line, you've got unqualified, untrained people.
Trent Langdon is the president of the province's Teachers Association. He says emergency supply teachers are a last resort, and he's concerned about their ability to deliver curriculum.
But they're not trained teachers, and that is our deep worry with this. This is a watering down of our system. We're now up to 200 in this province. It's just going to continue, and up to 4 years ago, as I said, we had 30. So to jump from 30 to 200 in a matter of 3-4 years is a big worry.
The use of emergency supply teachers has increased the most on the Avalon Peninsula. In 2019-2020, none were used. This year, 126. In Central, there are 28 more emergency supply teachers than 5 years ago, and 20 more in the Western region. Labrador is the only place to see a decrease, with one fewer over the last 5 years at 17. Langdon says he wants parents to speak up about it.
I know there's times in rural and isolated areas where it might be essential, because we do have significant issues, but this cannot be normalized. We cannot come to a point where, okay, it's okay to say we have 200 untrained individuals in front of our classrooms.
The Education Department says before using an emergency supply teacher, they have to try to bring in a certified teacher first. Emergency supply fill-ins are expected to use lesson plans left by teachers, if there are any. In a statement, Education Minister Crystalyn Howell says most emergency supply teachers are education students close to graduation. She also says the university limits the number of days those students can teach. Meanwhile, the NLTA says it would only like to see qualified teachers in schools. Langdon says government is already aware of the issue, and he's not confident that much will change. He says teachers are leaving the profession and the province, and he wants government to focus on making teachers' working conditions better. Heather Gillis, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, a 41-year-old woman is dead after a crash on the Trans-Canada Highway near Bishops Falls on Friday evening. The RCMP says the woman was driving a pickup truck that collided with a tractor-trailer shortly before 7 p.m. A passenger of the pickup truck was sent to hospital in Grand Falls, Windsor, and treated for non-life-threatening injuries. The driver of the tractor-trailer wasn't injured. Police say the investigation is ongoing. Well, the RNC is investigating a weekend home invasion in St. John's. The police force says it responded to a home on Cowan Avenue just before midnight on Friday. According to the RNC, the occupants of the home reported being shot at by 2 masked intruders. A man was sent to hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. The RNC says the attack is believed to be targeted and is seeking information, including video footage from the area. The progressive conservative opposition is calling on the province to allow nurse practitioners to be paid by MCP in the same way that family doctors are if they own their own clinic. But the health minister says the provincial government doesn't support that idea. Here Now's Mark Quinn reports.
So to me, it's a low-hanging fruit, and I'm not sure why the minister or his government don't act on it.
We're not interested in the privatisation of healthcare like other provinces such as Alberta.
Right now, if a nurse practitioner sets up their own clinic, patients have to pay them out of pocket. Nurse practitioners can't bill MCP like doctors can. The PC say allowing them to bill the province for their services would increase access to publicly funded healthcare at a time when thousands of people don't have a family doctor.
Why can't they bill government directly? No different than your family doctor does. When you go for any other medical appointment, you go to your nurse practitioner, they can bill government just like your family doctor does. There's no privatisation here unless you're saying that our family doctors are privatised.
The health minister says the provincial government has a plan to use more nurse practitioners in family care teams, where they're paid a salary by the health authority. They're not interested in allowing nurse practitioners to operate private clinics and bill MCP.
The health accord calls for interdisciplinary teams, family care teams throughout the province that are public clinics operated and run by public healthcare professionals, paid for and supported through the provincial health authority. So that's what we're interested in doing.
The PCs say residents don't have time to wait years for a healthcare plan to unfold. Petton says people need more access to healthcare now. Mark Quinn, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, the sun made a brief appearance in St. John's this morning, and crews got to work getting ready for this summer's patio season. Crews outside of Jungle Gyms in downtown St. John's this morning were unloading the lumber needed to make the massive deck that sits along Water Street. Many in the city are hopeful this patio furniture will be put to good use with the arrival of some summer sun. Farther east on Water Street, the popular patio in front of Cajones is already done, and work continued today to get the area ready for the season and the pedestrian mall later this year.
Well, that sunshine today certainly was lovely, but it didn't stick around for long. We've got a couple of systems in play, an area of low pressure to the south with the front, and that is leading to these showers for now. Labrador, you are under clear skies at the moment. We've got an area of low pressure to the west and one offshore that is, at this point, not really bringing anything in, but it will bring some showers in for those of you in Lab West over the next couple of days. So that area of low pressure is tapping into some moisture from the tropics. So we are looking at some fog developing as we head through tonight, and this rain continuing really over at least tomorrow, but this stream of moisture will be directed towards the province as we head into Wednesday as well before that ends. So as far as the temperatures are concerned, we've got that onshore flow. That means temperatures are going to stay cool in onshore flow for the eastern portion of the province, but the rest of the province looks pretty decent. Temperatures might even reach the 20-degree mark. I'll get into the details coming up.
Thanks, Ashley. Well, a school in Portugal Cove, St. Philip's has a new program to get students more excited about books. It's a vending machine with free books, but students have to earn the custom tokens to get one. Completing good deeds will earn them tokens. According to school staff, the idea was years in the making.
I told you, you're going to give everyone a book.
This has been an initiative we've been working on for the past 2 years, and essentially it ties in with our positive behavior supports. So that means students in the building, they do kind things. Maybe they're very sportsmanlike, maybe they're helping out teachers with a different project, maybe the teachers notice them working really hard on something. They earn what's called a Brookside Booster. Then they go to the office and they can choose between some Brookside gear, so some swag. They can choose a gift card, or they can choose a token for the vending machine. I just feel like we need to excite kids about reading again. Like video games and things like that are exciting, but we need to get books exciting too. So a lot of kids are excited about it. They're coming, they're looking at the machine, they're wanting to get this book or that book. They're very excited about how things look in there.
And you had the refurb previous vending machine a little bit. How difficult was that to make sure that it would fit in books as opposed to a Twix or something.
Yes, definitely a challenge because books are a little thicker. So we're still in the design process, and our local vending machine company, AC Vending, it's been helping us reconfigure them to make sure that they're exactly what we want them to be.
I like reading, and it's good that it's like close to the classrooms. So like if I have a token, I can just like walk up there.
I really like books, and I'm happy that it's there.
Really cool because like you don't get snacks. You get to read books and keep it forever. It's really fun.
We are very blessed. Our school community has donated gently used books. So then they come in and we put a sticker in them that says Brookside loves reading, so we know it goes for the book vending machine. And we put them in, and we've got most of our books in there have been donated right now.
It makes our school a better place, and you get rewarded for good things that you do.
There wasn't any books there that I wanted to read, so I got the gift card instead.
Right. So now you can go pick up anything you want?
Yeah.
What do you think you'll get with it?
I have no idea.
Oh, they all love it. Everyone is super excited about it. They're super excited to see their design and their dream become a reality. It's amazing to see something through to the very end.
Oh, it's so nice. Well, to some sports news now. It seems the ship has sailed on the Newfoundland Rogues season. The team put up 115 points, but still fell short to the KW Titans on Friday. That gives the team from Kingston Waterloo the semi-final playoff series win, 3-0. The Rogues MVP candidate, Armani Chaney, set a league and franchise record, scoring 52 points in Friday's game. The Rogues didn't have its head coach, Jerry Williams, who had to leave the country for a family emergency, leaving assistant coach Austin Chambers to lead the team.
Ever since I first started with the Rogues, Jerry has been a phenomenal mentor to me, and he's kind of become like a big brother to me. So, to know that, he was going through some things and couldn't be with us, I definitely wanted to do a good job for him. So honestly, a lot of people talk to me about, don't be nervous and stuff like that, but honestly, I wasn't nervous at all. I wasn't thinking about myself at all. I was just thinking about how can I help these guys, put on a good performance and, come out and make Jerry proud. I just told them that, it was a pleasure working with every single one of them. They're better people than they are basketball players, which is really saying a lot. I told them that, I hope we cross paths again in the future and that they should all be very proud of themselves. They showed a lot of fight, overcame a lot of adversity throughout the year. And, the future is bright for all of them.
Well, from the court to the ice, St. John's para hockey player Liam Hickey has added another medal to his trophy case.
3 seconds to go, and that'll do it! Canada, golden in Calgary!
Yes, Team Canada beat the U.S. last night to win the gold medal at the World Para Hockey Championships. That ended the Americans' 3-year gold medal streak. Hickey tied for team lead in points with 17. He now has a gold medal at the World Championships to go along with 3 silvers. And staying with hockey news, St. John's own Maggie Connors and her team are 1 win away from heading to the PWHL finals. Connors and the PWHL Toronto are taking on Minnesota in the playoffs. Toronto scored a goal late in the game on Friday to win. They now lead the series 2-0. The teams play what could be a deciding game tonight at 9:30 Island time. Good luck to them. Well, Gander's Brad Payton says he grew up watching everything science fiction. So when he started directing his own films, he wanted to make sure he wasn't repeating the greats. His film Atlas, which stars Jennifer Lopez and Simu Liu, streams on Netflix starting May 24th. The CBC's Henrika Wilhelm talked to Payton about making a movie with explosions and heart.
Good morning, Atlas.
It's a sci-fi action-adventure film that's about a woman named Atlas, played by Jennifer Lopez, and she basically has a massive mistrust towards technology and specifically AI due to a trauma in her past. Terrible for her, but great for us, that she gets stuck inside a giant mech suit that is driven by AI. So she's forced to kind of confront those past fears and lack of trust while she's trying to traverse an alien planet to survive.
What do I do? Strap it!
For me, I grew up watching sci-fi and fantasy religiously. One of the first things that you do when you go to engage the process of getting to make your own sci-fi movie is I'm very aware of what's come before me, and I don't want to replicate it. I don't want to repeat it. So a lot of it is honestly just sort of looking to do things your own way.
This is what it feels like to be us.
For a director, what's the appeal of putting all these explosions into a movie? Like, is there a fun part to it?
Yeah, it's definitely fun blowing things up. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's not something you get to do on a daily basis. To me, it's just sort of the joy of the ride. It's dangerous, it's fun, it's exciting. Spectacle is something that I really like. I like escapist filmmaking. I like things that both have a message but allow you to go enjoy yourself. I don't want the message to overpower ultimately the fun of the ride. And I just wanted also the movie to have as much humor and heart as possible so that people could come into this and go like, wow, this is a rich, interesting sci-fi movie, but it's also very emotional, very funny, and it's about trust ultimately. And so I wanted it to have a big heart, and I wanted it to discuss a very human idea, which is that we need trust in order to build meaningful relationships. And so that was the impetus for me making the movie, and that was sort of the most important thing that I hope people take away from it. What would I blow up in Newfoundland? Wow. Man, I mean, there's not a lot that I really want to blow up. I mean, I guess I would ask the people of Newfoundland, what would you like me to blow up? I'll blow it up for you. We'll record it. We'll put it on a big screen. But then maybe, we can rebuild something better. Because I don't want to blow up anything that people really, really love. But I'm happy to demolish something you don't want.
Okay, the sunshine today was short-lived, but we've got some showers on the way now. It's gonna be pretty wet over the next couple of days. I'll tell you how much rain is on the way when I come back.
latest weather update is brought to you by the Healthcare Foundation Home Lottery. The absolute final deadline is midnight Friday, June 7th. Order tickets now at hcfhomelottery.ca.
Well, the day started off beautifully in St. John's, but really kind of took a turn this afternoon.
It certainly did, and the temperatures have dropped as well out there. But it was a pretty lovely afternoon for a good chunk of the island and certainly up across Labrador. Let's take a look at what's going on out there today. 14 degrees is where we topped out in St. John's. You see southern areas of the Avalon, though, much cooler than that, only about 5 degrees for Cape Race as well as Argentia. Up across Labrador, 17 in Lab City, 19 in Churchill Falls. That is where the warmest temperatures are. Not far behind there, though, for Terra Nova, topping out at about 16 degrees today. So if we take a look at what's going on, we did see plenty of sunshine up across parts of Labrador. Some of those clouds clearing now for Lab West, hanging on thanks to that area of low pressure offshore towards coastal areas of Labrador. And then we've got the high cloud moving in from that area of low pressure to the south there, and that's what brought that shower activity this afternoon. And it's still going. Not too much now over the next hour or so. It looks like some of the heavier showers rather have moved off, and just a few light showers behind that. But we're going to continue to see that rain as we head through tonight. But yes, that temperature certainly dropped down to 9 degrees in St. John's at the moment. Gander still sitting at a beautiful 14, 15 in Badger, and 10 degrees in Corner Brook, and still absolutely beautiful evening in Churchill Falls at 18 degrees right now. So there's that rain. It will continue to move through over the next couple of hours. By midnight, we should be seeing just cloudy skies. A lovely evening for central and western Newfoundland and up across Labrador as well. Really not a whole lot going on, just a little bit of cloud cover moving in out ahead of our next weather system, which will bring showers to those of you in Lab West as we head through the day tomorrow. Temperatures tonight dipping between 2 and about 7 degrees overnight. Winds generally light as they have been. We will see fog patches move in, though, thanks to that southerly flow. Lots of moisture associated with this one. So we are certainly going to see some fog patches developing. Up across Labrador, hovering into about 0 to -1 or -2. As you head towards the west, though, temperatures above 0 tonight, hovering around 3 degrees. Tomorrow, we will see those showers redevelop, though, across the Avalon, and then they're going to continue to work their way west as the day goes on. So by noon, most of eastern Newfoundland will be seeing some showers. By supper time, we'll be seeing those showers towards central, and then eventually, again, they're going to continue to move. They're moving very slowly, but they will. West Coast looks beautiful through the day. You're just looking at increasing cloud as the day goes on. Your showers will move in a little later on Wednesday. And then Lab West, you're going to see those showers move in as well, and they are going to slowly work their way north as the day goes on and as we head into Wednesday morning. Like I said, by the time we get through Wednesday morning and into the afternoon, we'll start to see some shower activity for the West Coast. Now, there is going to be quite a bit of rain, just about trace to 5 millimeters up across Labrador. But for essentially the eastern half of the island, we could be talking about 10 to 20 millimeters and some pockets of heavier rain. 20 to 30, certainly not out of the question for the metro area. And as you can see there, the southwestern corner of the Avalon, or southeastern corner rather, of the Avalon, you may see in excess of about 30 to as much as 50 millimeters of rain. Temperatures tomorrow are going to be cool in that rain, only about 6 to 9 degrees through the day. Again, winds light, about only 10 to 15 kilometers per hour. But the best weather will be on the west coast. 11 to 14 degrees is your daytime high. Northern Peninsula sitting in the single digits. That'll be the story for southeastern Labrador and the north. Otherwise, between 10 to 15, maybe even reaching that 20-degree mark again through the day for Churchill Falls. And you're also looking at your winds out of the south in that southerly flow, about 20 to 40 kilometers per hour for those of you in Lab West. That's your forecast. We'll look ahead to the long range when I come back.
Already thinking about the weekend. All right. Well, when you have a health problem, the focus is usually on your physical well-being, but living with a chronic condition can also impact your mental health. This weekend, Pause for Multiple Sclerosis raised money and awareness to improve mental health.
This is our 8th year with Pause for MS. It's a dog walk that I created 8 years ago because I live with multiple sclerosis. And I approached Mark, and Mark, being a very community guy, liked the idea and came on board. We normally give funds to research, MS research, but this year we decided to go with mental health, because when you have a chronic illness, mental health is a big factor in it. So all of these animals we got coming in now, cats, dogs, any creature that you're bringing in with us, these are all the best kind of medicine that anyone could have for your mental health.
And there's nothing else better than to be able to go home and cuddle with your animal and wake up knowing that you got a best friend there, you know? But just being a part of this event and actually meeting Zita the past few years, and then other people as well with MS, you know, like it just means so much to be able to give back, and that's what it's all about.
Funds being raised today will go towards Canadian Mental Health Association, and a lot of that money is being used towards our programs, our education and training programs throughout the province. We get calls probably on a weekly basis from people looking for resources or where I can go to get help for this issue. So through our education and training programs, we raise a lot of awareness of the connection between your mental health and physical health. And more important, we give a lot of different strategies, tips, ways you can cope, ways you can help yourself, and also inform people what resources are out in the community.
When I was diagnosed back in 2010, I could not stand here today and stay on my 2 feet. I could not walk. I had to learn how to walk again. When you're hit with MS, your whole life changes. A different route, different journey, it do. And it all comes together, it do, with the support that we get from Mark and the support that we get from the community. This was only a tiny little walk for me that I dreamed of, and I thought it might last a year or two. This is a dream come true for me.
Well, it's billed as Canada's biggest science festival. Science Rendezvous gave children in St. John's the chance to check out some cool experiments and learn more about the world around them. With the hope of sparking more interest in science, we stopped by.
Science Rendezvous is a celebration of science that happens every year across the country. You can come out and see science in a way that is practical, in the way that can apply to you and you can relate to and understand it. It really makes you appreciate science and engineering as well. We have our Ocean Science Centre here with their touch tank, so you can get your hands in on some marine life. Our biology department is here. You can take your own plant home and plant it in your house or your yard. We have the Newfoundland Public Library here, as well as geocenters here too. It's really important to engage young people in our province really early and get them interested and engaged in science, and plant that seed to make them want to be curious about science and keep pursuing it as they go through elementary and junior high. It's very hard to do hands-on science activities that are engaging, that kids can relate to, when you have to get through a preset list of curriculum. So when you have events like this that are free and open to the public, it's a really good opportunity to come out and see what opportunities are available that you may not have the option to do in the classroom simply because of limited time and resources. It's really important to be promoting science, especially to high school students as they get close to finishing high school and going out into post-secondary institutions, to give them the options and the full breadth of careers they can pursue.
There's so many branches of science they can go into. There's something for everybody here. There's things from medicine to physics, biochemistry, engineering, you name it. There's something for everybody, and I think it's really important to expose them to that at a young age so they can find what they like. This is something that I would have loved as a kid. I'm from Halifax, and I know they have the Discovery Center, and I was always a huge fan of that, and this is kind of like reminiscent of the Discovery Center, and it's just something I would have loved, and I love like seeing the kids involved and getting involved in science at a young age. The Geo Center has like a plasma ball, and a lot of people think it's one of those balls that you can touch and your hair goes up, but it's not. It's plasma, so the electricity is trying to get to the ground, and the kids are just like, oh my gosh, like they just think it's so cool. So it's something they've never seen before, and I think that's awesome. In general, I think they're just in awe. It's a bigger event than a lot of people think it is, so just seeing everything, they're just like, wow, this is awesome.
Well, now we head to Alberta, where some towns like Fort McMurray have been issued an evacuation alert because of wildfires. Residents have been told to pack their bags and be ready to leave if necessary. Over the weekend, northern Alberta saw as many as 52 active wildfires. And joining me now from Fort McMurray is Bob Groves, who's originally from Fogo Island and grew up in St. John's. He's been living in Fort McMurray for the past 16 years. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, first of all, Bob, how are you doing today? And can you tell us what the wildfire situation is?
I'm doing good today. It's a fairly sunny day, so the sun brings out the best in people for sure. There's one fire that's out of control. Actually, it's 6,500 hectares as we speak. I would assume it's about 70 kilometers south of where I am right now. I'm just north of town, Syncrude Base Mine area. And yeah, you know, you get people talking at work about families and friends and, you know, what their situation is. And it is pretty hectic, even though we are well versed in this situation now because of 2016, but you know, there's always that unbalance of thoughts in your head each day because you don't know what's going to happen from one moment to the next, right? So all we can do is remember 2016 and be as prepared as we were then, but I believe we are, you know, we have the capability now and the thought process to be way more prepared than then, thankfully.
Can you see the smoke from where you are right now?
Well, if you see in the distance down at the end of the road here, you can see that it is smoky in the distance. Now that is towards Fort McMurray, and you can definitely smell it on site today. So, you know, there's a big impact, even though it is 6,500 hectares and 70 kilometers south of here. It depends on the wind direction, right? We're all affected by that, and it brings down the air quality as well, right, for the workers.
And it must be just unnerving as well to be able to smell it and see it like that.
Well, it brings back a lot of memories, you know. I believe on a couple of my interviews there, I shed a few tears because I didn't know if I was going to have my house or any of my belongings. Now, at this point, I'm like, you know, we just got to get out safely and prepare ourselves as best as possible. But whatever we can do to save our personal belongings is all I'm, you know, worried about at this point, and of course my family and friends. So
yeah, the last time that you and I spoke was actually during that wildfire back in 2016, and then tens of thousands of people were forced from their homes. What are you doing to prepare now? Are you ready to go if need be?
Pretty much ready to go. All the vehicles are fueled up. We are packed as much as we really need to and as much as we have space for. The animals, all the cages are all ready to go. And yeah, I mean, that's as much as we can do. You know, there's not a lot what you can do when you're all heading out probably in one vehicle, right? So I do have my camper south. It's around Anzac that I'm prepared to go to and take south once again if it goes downhill here. But yeah, that's about it. I mean, we just have to wait it out and see what happens and be ready.
There are a lot of Newfoundlanders and Labradorians, of course, living in Fort McMurray, and I understand it's a pretty tight-knit community. What are you hearing from the people that you know there? What's the mood like? How are people feeling?
Well, there's a lot of anxiety, especially because of the 2016 forest fires. But basically, we all wish we were surrounded by ocean right now, I can tell you that.
Yeah,
But yeah, you know, Newfoundlanders are known to take care of each other, and we're all, you know, even if we don't know each other, we're willing to help each other out. And everyone in Fort McMurray, not only Newfoundlanders, is pretty much the same way. So we're all just in the struggle together, because we don't know what's going to happen from one day to the next. And we're just willing to help out and get her done.
Yeah. Well, Bob Groves, thank you so much for giving us this update. Fingers crossed that the fire stays at bay, and please stay safe out there.
I will. Thank you very much, Carolyn.
They're oily, they're dark, and they have a strong smell that will linger on your clothes for days. And for some, seal flippers are a great meal. Over 100 of them are sold every year at Wesley United Church as part of its annual seal flipper dinner. Here now's Jessica Singer went to learn more about the lore behind the polarizing but popular food.
hard to put on. All right, Marvin, who are you and what are we doing here?
Well, my name is Marvin Barnes, and I'm a member here at Wesley United. And this is our annual flipper season. This is a flipper, for those who don't know. Seal flipper, obviously. And we have these meals as fundraisers. It's a can't-miss fundraiser. We've sold out 4 of these in the past when we were younger and more energetic than what we are now. And seals are great. Either you really like them or you really don't. Okay.
Okay, so it's squishy.
Yeah, well, that's raw meat, right?
This is the meat part, and
Yes.
this is the bone.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's almost, I hate to say it because I hate liver, but it sort of feels like liver. It's raw liver.
Another controversial food.
Yeah, not for me. I refuse to eat it. There you go. So cut that little piece off there.
This, I don't want to cut myself.
Now you got to watch that because if you don't, you get seal finger. You don't want to get seal finger.
What's seal finger?
Seal finger is a really bad infection, made worse by the fact that there's seal, blood, or whatever involved. Like a lot of the guys came back from the ice years ago with pretty hard shape. It's better to take some of the meat with the fat if need be, right?
Yeah. What else do I do now that I've cut that little bit off?
That's pretty good actually. Oh, there's a bit there.
Okay, like this part?
Yeah, I can go.
Oh, can I just pull it?
Whatever works.
Oh, it's gross. There's a strong smell. How would you describe the smell of seal?
To anybody who's ever walked into a fish plant, it's sort of that fishy smell.
Yeah.
Right? Well, obviously, because they eat fish. But yeah, that's probably the best way to put it.
Maybe like a fish that's recently dried up on the shore.
That's not very good.
How would you describe the taste of seal? I know you're a little biased because you like it.
It's definitely fishy. If you've ever eaten titers or saltwater ducks, seabirds, they taste very much like that.
Once the men get them clean, then we bring them over here. Jennifer and I are washing them in baking soda water, which hopefully cleans them better. Then we just put them aside until tomorrow when we get ready to prepare the dinner. We've been doing the flipper dinner for about 25 years as the Fall Fair Committee, but then before that, the Men's Service Club used to do it, and I would say that it's close to 50 years that this has been on the go for Wesley Church.
And so why do you do this, Phoebe? What makes you want to do this?
Just to get some work. No, we do it too. It's a fundraiser for the church, which helps with all of our expenses, we hope.
Yes.
But we're always sold out. We usually sell 150, 160 tickets, and we're always sold out.
How good am I at doing this job?
You're pretty good. Once you get, people are usually nervous about cutting too much meat off, but it's better to have, don't cut yourself for God's sake. We don't want any seal finger injuries like that. So
let me check if I. You can get sick from that?
You get it's a bad infection, more than a regular cut.
Oh yeah, I got a little cut there.
Jenna, we got any peroxide here?
I don't want seal finger.
Well, the worst case scenario is it'll turn red, then black, and then drop off.
No. More so. Seal finger. I want seal finger.
Good morning, Jessica. How's your finger?
It's not bad. Look at my battle wound.
Oh boy. Well, look, the good news is it didn't fall off.
You like the smell?
Well, it's a familiar sound. It's like a smell from home, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's sweet. Good.
After all day.
Ooh, it is strong. The smell.
my grandfather was a sailing captain, so it's wonderful. It was special when you can get them now.
I know some people hold their hands up in horror, but I quite like them, yeah.
Every year, my mom always cooked a flipper dinner.
All right, after long days in the kitchen, hurting myself, cutting myself with a knife, cleaning the seal, seal's in my blood now, literally. So I might as well go for it, right, ladies? Yeah, go for it, okay. You know what?
Not too bad.
It's not bad. It really is not bad. It's actually pretty flippin' good. For CBC News, I'm Jessica Singer, eating seal flippers at Wesley United Church.
Well, into other news now, returning to the wildfires in Western Canada. Fast-moving wildfire is threatening the community of Fort Nelson in northeastern British Columbia. Authorities say the flames are now just a few kilometers from the town.
The next 48 hours will be a challenging situation for the Northern Rockies Regional Municipality, given forecasted ongoing westerly winds and extremely dry and volatile fuels in the area. We may begin to see volatile wildfire activity later this afternoon.
4,700 people are under evacuation orders. Those who remain are being told to get out now. Crews are battling the blaze from the air and from the ground, but they're also fighting what are known as holdover fires in the same region, fires that burned deep in the ground throughout the winter. And as we heard earlier, parts of Alberta, including Fort McMurray, are also feeling the heat and smoke. And there's a fire burning not far from Cranberry Portage in Manitoba. The community was evacuated over the weekend, except for emergency crews.
They've been deploying sprinklers in the community, ensuring that all structures of value and homes and all of those structures remain standing, and all of those sprinklers remain working well, and that has been successful. The fire itself is still a very dangerous fire, so our evacuation notice remains.
One fire official says he's never seen a fire move this quickly in 40 years, and it will take a long time to put it out. In Alberta, there are fires burning near Grand Prairie and Fort McMurray. All the fire activity has led to smoky skies as far as Edmonton.
Well, we asked you for your Northern Lights photos, and boy, did you deliver. A geomagnetic storm hit the Earth over the weekend. It was the most severe storm in more than 20 years, and that made the Northern Lights, or Aurora Borealis, visible much further south than usual.
Just beautiful photos. The light show was visible to many all around the world, including here in this province. The west coast of the island and Labrador had the best view. Just some fantastic photos. Thank you so much. We received a lot of them. It's too bad, Ashley, that we couldn't see any of this in the east.
I know. I was hoping for those clouds to clear, but...
Me too. No. But we get to see the photos, and they're beautiful.
Exactly.
say I'm still chuckling at Jessica's story about the flipper dinner. And the last line, it's pretty flippin' good.
Yeah.
That was funny.
That was really
I
good.
enjoyed that piece.
I'm glad she tried it.
Yeah. You've had all that.
Oh, I've had
from
seal, yes.
Living up north.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was boiled seal, so it wasn't necessarily cooked like that, so it wasn't necessarily great, but it's okay.
I'm glad Jessica did that story.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so let's talk about the weather. The long-range forecast had a bit of sunshine today that we got to enjoy. How are things looking later in the week?
Yeah, so as we head into Wednesday, it's still going to be pretty wet. That area of low pressure is going to sit to the south of us, and it's going to just keep pumping moisture northward. Unfortunately.
Good for the plants.
That's right.
That's how I like to think about it.
Exactly. But yeah, there's that rain there. We're still looking at onshore flow through the evening hours on Tuesday and into Wednesday. Some of that shower activity will push its way further west. And we've got some showers working their way across Labrador as well. But most of us will be seeing RDF through the day on Wednesday and eventually the northern peninsula as well. Looks like parts of the west coast may stay out of it through the day on Wednesday, but any push further west, we will see those showers. But for now, keeping the west coast, Corner Brook, Port aux Basques in and around 15 degrees through the day with some sunshine. I do think you'll see a little bit more cloud at times, but you'll certainly see some peaks of sun. Temperatures rebounding a little bit for central and eastern Newfoundland, somewhere between 9 and 14 degrees through the day. Northern Peninsula, you're still going to stay chilly, around 5 degrees. For St. Anthony, Labrador, like I said, other than some showers, temperatures will be a little bit cooler, 12 to 14 degrees cooler still towards the coast, anywhere from 4 to 5 degrees through the day. So the area of low pressure will finally depart a little bit. We'll still see some showers in behind that, and onshore flow will continue across the island. Cloudy with a chance of showers. Some showers will work their way towards central Labrador and the north coast as we head through the afternoon hours. And our daytime highs on Thursday, warming up quite a bit for central, but that onshore flow is going to keep temperatures in single digits for St. John's, around 6 degrees. Really anywhere along the northeast coast, we'll see those cooler temperatures. And for Labrador, same thing for coastal areas of the Big Land, otherwise between 11 to 13 degrees, again with some unsettled conditions. Long range forecast showing those single digits will stick around really right through the weekend. It looks like at this point with some rainy skies Saturday, we'll see some sunshine. Carolyn is not happy with this forecast. Some sunshine may peak out on Saturday. And then for central Newfoundland, you're looking at a much nicer temperature-wise, but your overnight lows still pretty chilly. Western Newfoundland, nice stretch of weather as well. Beautiful stretch of weather, really. Labrador looking at rain by the time we get to the weekend for both eastern and western Labrador. Our photo is a great sunset there. This is last night's sunset in Happy Valley Goose Bay, and Paul shared that photo with us. If you have any weather photos that you would like to share with us, you can send them to our email, nlphotos@cbc.ca.
Oh, great. It's so vibrant. Vibrant orange color. Lovely. Thank you so much for that. And thank you also to everyone who sent in their Northern Lights photos. Some great shots. My goodness.
I got some beautiful ones on my Facebook page too, so I'm going to try and share those with you guys tomorrow. Spread it out. There's a lot of beauties.
All right. Well, that is it for us on this Monday evening. Thank you so much for spending part of your night with us.